So thank you everyone for joining the today's concept. This is our first concept called Python related minds. So Python talent minds is actually talks about who are having the talent on the different Python technologies. Then they can forward, they can share their ideas to the in the forum. Okay, it's a community discussion. The people where they can come forward and share the ideas are like not only like sharing the small projects, and also if you have any great ideas, simple like 5 6 slides of content also you can share it, because people who don't know on that concept they can understand that from your end. Okay, so today's our first concept is on currency detection app. So this is going to be like I'm going to introduce one person in our group. His name is Ganesh. He is going to share his screen, and he's going to tell us like how he has done this currency detection app. Of course, he has done with Android and many skills he is going to share with you. So you can, if you have any questions also, you can ask them, and I will also like give some answers to your questions in between, get some idea. Okay, so over to the like Ganesh. Ganesh, you can take it forward. I'm going to stop the screen. You can go ahead, please.
Okay, sir, I will start. Sir, is the screen visible?
Yes, screen is visible. You can go ahead. Good to go. Yeah.
Okay, I love you guys. A very good evening to all. And my name is Ganesh. Today, I want to say about an Android application which is used for currency detection. And first of all, I would like to show a demo of that app. This is the video I have screen recorded my app. And in this, if we give a 10 rupees note to it, then it will return that it is a 10 rupees note. After that, if we give a 500 rupees note, then it will shows it is a 500 rupees note. And this is the demo of the application. And if we can turn the rotate the screen also of the camera, then it will be, then the results will also be good. And this is the demo of the application. And after that, yeah, here I have prepared a small presentation about that. And for making that type of application, there are some requirements. The first requirement is Android Studio. Android Studio is an IDE which is used for building apps which runs on Java. It's mainly depends upon Java language, and nowadays these apps are running on Kotlin language also. And nowadays there is a new technology called Flutter. By using that Flutter, we can run the applications on both the Android devices and iOS devices also. But for now, the Java apps can run only on Android devices. This is about Android Studio. And if anyone don't know about Android Studio, then you can easily install it by just checking in YouTube. If you search for how to install Android Studio, then there are plenty of videos about that. And the second thing is you have good internet connection, because in Android Studio there are a lot of dependencies which are downloaded at the runtime. So we have to be uh, prefer a good internet connection. And the third one is a smartphone for testing purpose. And the smartphone is we have to use only the smartphones, not keypad phones, because the code doesn't run on the keypad phones. And that's it about the requirements. And whenever goes to the process, first of all we have to collect the data. This is actually a classification problem. So for that we have the data of the notes, 10 rupee notes and 500 rupee notes. Here is the data. Actually here is these are 10 rupee notes, and these are 100 rupee, and these are 500 rupee notes. In this, first I'll take a 50 images. There are 50 images in this folder, and these 50 images take with my mobile phone. and these are high resolution pics. If we go to properties, then it shows that it is 4000 by 3000 pixels. That means it's very huge amount of data which is present in these images, and these 50 images are not sufficient for training. Actually it is sufficient, but if we give so much data, then it will be more accuracy. And these three folders contains the data which I would take from the my mobile phone, and it is the resize folder. In the resize 10 folder, I'll show you. Yeah, these are the resized images which are converted to 1028 by 1028 pixels. I'll show you how I converted all these. And these are 50 pictures. And I think that these pictures are not sufficient for training. And I have prepared a training dataset, and it will contain approximately, I think there are 1000 images. I think so. Yeah, here there are 1000 images. I have converted those 50 images into 1000 images by using the process called data augmentation. There is a generator which is used for generating the data. I'll show you the process. uh, 1 second. I will open the Jupyter notebook and I will show you. Actually I am using Linux, so it will be somewhat difficult for me. Okay, the Jupyter notebook will be open now. Okay, it's successfully opened, and I have kept the, I think so, in desktop folder. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here is image data generator.ipynb. It's the file which I use it to convert the data into 1000 images, that 50 images to 1000 images. First of all, I resized the image. In this, I initially import CV2 library. The CV2 library is usually, it's a computer vision library. Which is used for image processing, and I don't run the code now because it will. Okay, I will run it and show one example. Okay, here I have run this and I have imported CV2 library, and here in the rupees folder, yeah, here it is. In the rupees folder, there is subfolders. Okay, and I have given the path in rupees folder. In the 500, yeah, 500 folder, I took one .jpg. I read an image, and which is fed into the variable called img. I'll show that image. Yeah, here one .jpg. This is the image I have given to the img, and I will run it. And in this, it will show the image. Actually, it is a very big image, so it's just shows the corner, I think so. It's not seen. Wait. Okay, it's very big in size. Okay, so it was not good actually. So I have resized the image. Here I have resized the image to 256 by 256 pixels. Once I run the code, and I will also show the resized image. Here it is, the resized image. The big image is converted to 256 by 256 pixels. After that, in this manner, I have converted the image. I have resized the images. By using this for loop, I have resized all the images, and I didn't introduce this line. Okay, this is cv2 dot im, right? This is used for writing our images. That means saving our images to our system, and it is a loop for resizing all the images. In this for loop, I have given 1 comma 51. That means it will iterate for 50 counts, and by using this for loop, I have resized all my images to 1028 by 1028 pixels. This is because while training is happening, then it will take so much time if we give high resolution pictures. So I have resized the data. this is resizing process. Okay, actually I have made a preparation. Yeah, sorry. Here the first step is data collection. It is a it's done through my mobile phone, and as the second step I have just now said that data reshaping. I have reshaped the data. And third one is data augmentation. Data augmentation means I have just 50 images which are taken with my mobile, but I need uh, approximately 1000 images for better accuracy. So for that reason I have import keras.preprocessing.image. From this I have imported the image data generator, which is used for generating the images, and these are used for manipulating the arrays. And after that, this is the generator function. You have to write like this. And by using this function, for every iteration I have converted each my image into 20 times. Here I have mentioned if I is greater than 20, it will automatically break. That means each and every image will be see here, rotation range, width shift range, height shift range. That means every image uh, will undergoes either zooming or some rotation, uh, or something. It will change that sharing of the image, or it will zoom that image, and by that process it will convert the data into 20 times of that original data. I will show you the data once again. Yeah, training data. In these images, each image will be zoomed, or either it will be shared, or it will be flipped, whatever it may be, and these data will be multiplied. By using this image data generator, we can increase the data image data. This is the third step. And the fourth step is training the model. The training model is very simple here. Actually, I was using a website called Teachable Mission. I'll show you. Here it is. This Teachable Mission was introduced by the Google, and it is very useful for the beginners who can easily train the images. Okay, actually we have to give images to this class. For example, it is a class 1, and if I want to label it as 10 rupee notes, for example, and if it is class 2, and we name it 100 rupee notes, and after labeling we have to give images to this. uh, we can also give images through webcam, but the quality of the image will be decreased. For that reason we can upload the image. Click this and it will show you like this. I have labeled it as 10, so I is giving 10 rupee notes. Actually here I have trained the data for this purpose, and here you have to give all the images. You have to select all the images and have to click open for uploading those images. But for now I have already trained the model, so I'll just giving a single image for just your understanding how to do this. Okay, I'll just click open, and a single image is uploaded here. If I give 1000 images, then 1000 images will be uploaded here. And in this 100, I'll upload the images of the 100 rupee notes. Okay, I have given it a single picture for my purpose. After giving images to these labels, and you have to click this train model button. And if you are already you have an idea about what is this learning rate, the batch size, approaches, you can also change this. Or otherwise you just click train model, then it will train our model. And for my case, if I give 1000 images, it will take approximately 15 minutes, I think so, for training. And actually it is a fast process because it was running on GPU, and this training will took some time. Okay, I just given a single image, so it will be completed. And here it is showing the, yeah, here it is showing the video. In this video you can actually check whether it is working or not. Otherwise you can off it also. For now I am offing. And for after, you have to click on this export model. Okay, after clicking on the export model, here the code will be like this. Okay, and we can save it as a .js or TensorFlow or TensorFlow Lite. And I want to say about Android. Android is, in Android we can run TensorFlow Lite models very easily, and we can also easily integrate. So I was choosing TensorFlow Lite model, and I have already downloaded the model. I'll show you later. And for now I just showing you how to download this. Here it is a floating point. You tick on this, and you have to click on the download my model. And after downloading this zip file, you have to click on this, and you have to download the quantized file also, and click on the download my model. Then the two files will be downloaded. After I will show you the downloaded folders. They are in the models folder here. Yeah, these are the two zip files which I have downloaded, and I have extracted it also. These are the two files which I have extracted. And in this there is a folder called labels.txt. For my training I give three labels which are 500, 100 and 10 rupee notes. These are the labels. I will close it for now. Okay, and it is the model quan.tf lite file. This is model quan.tf lite file. Please remember, here and quant is there, and quant.tf lite. And in this folder, here the labels same for both of the folders. And here there is a model.tf lite. This is different from model and quant tf lite file. Okay, here are the downloaded files. And later, after downloading, here there is a GitHub link. Click on that. Closing this teachable mission. Okay, as you click on that link, here there is a repository. This is the Android Studio repository. Okay, then you click on the examples for downloading purpose. When you click on these examples, then you can get the code. Then you can download the zip. Then you can download the zip folder. I have already downloaded the zip folder, and I will also show it to you. Here, Android GitHub. Yeah, here is the zip folder, and I have extracted it. In .master, there are so many files. For now, I'll keep apart. Okay, I'll also close the Jupyter notebook. Okay. One second. Yeah. Training the model is completed, and downloading the model is also completed, and downloading GitHub repository is also completed. Here I have, right, it is called Netron. Netron is actually a website. It's used for watching the models, how it I'll show you. Yeah, here is the Netron website. Open model. I'll click on open model, and I have kept in desktop, right? Yeah. In the models, if I want to see this converted TF quantized file, yeah, here it is the model which we have trained on the teachable mission. And in this, it is actually convolutional neural network. And here you can see that CONV2D. Yeah, and you can look this. It's a very large network. It's actually very large network. You can see that. Yeah, you can see how large it is. So it can all through done by using the Google Teachable Machine, and it will give so much accurate results. Okay, I'll just open this website to show you how our model is. I will closing it. Okay. After downloading GitHub repository, then we have to open the Android Studio. Now we have to open Android Studio. It took a little bit time. Wait 1 second. This Android Studio framework occupies large space in my system. Actually, my system was 4 GB RAM it has, so it was very slow. And you can ask any doubts for now. Okay, it will successfully open. Then you have to open the file which we are downloaded from the GitHub repository. For that purpose, here there is a open an existing Android Studio project. Click on that. After that, it will show a window like this. Then I have placed it in my desktop, I think so. Yeah, desktop here. In desktop, I have kept that GitHub repository in an Android GitHub folder. I have already shown you. And in that, there is a folder called Light. In that Light folder, there is a folder called Examples. In that examples, we have to choose image classifications, as we are working on image classification project. And here it's an Android. We have to choose that Android. And there is iOS and metadata Raspberry Pi also there, but we are working now on Android. And we have to click on this, and you have to click OK. When you work on this for the first time, then it will take lots of time for opening, and it will download a lots of dependencies. So don't worry about that. It will slowly download all the dependencies, and it will definitely open. For that purpose, I have already downloaded all the dependencies, and I have already made that project readily available for you. So not wasting time, we just look at it. It will load all the modules here. Okay.
Yeah, Ganesh, I have a question.
Yeah, please ask.
Yeah. So from the teachable mission, we are able to generate different projects like Android, iOS kind of things, or how it will be.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, you have shown different project structures like Android, iOS, something like that. So those are generated by teachable mission. Am I correct?
Teachable mission just generate the .tf file, TensorFlow file or TensorFlow Lite file. We can use it anywhere, either in iOS or either in Android or Raspberry Pi. You can use it anywhere you want. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. We have cancelled that tip. And before proceeding to the Android Studio, we just have to do one thing. That's we have actually downloaded the model, and we have downloaded the repository also. We have to combine the both. That means we have to place the model in the Android project. For that, in models, Here there are two files. For example, these are two files, and here there are two files. So we have to place the model.tflight file and model unquant.tflight file and labels.txt file in the Android project. For that, I just copying from here and I'll paste it. And these three files should be kept in the on our model. For that, I will copying all these files and I will keep it in the Android Studio project. That Android Studio project is present in the Android GitHub. Please remember the path in examples. Here there is a folder called light and examples, image classification, Android, app, src, main, assets. There are actually already there are two folders in the assets folder. So we have to delete all this. Don't worry about them. Delete this. After deleting, you have to paste the models here. That model.tflight file and model unquant.tflight file and labels.txt file should be placed in the assets folder. Please remember the location. Okay. After placing, we can go for the Android. In the Android part, there are some little modifications we have to do. That modifications are in Java folder. Choose this, and here there is an activity called camera activity. Click on that. After clicking, 1 second. Yeah, in the 101 line, here there is float efficient. Actually, this is not float efficient. It will be, I'll show you. It will be either quantized or quantized efficient. It will show the suggestions way. Yeah, here it is showing either quantized efficient or quantized mobile net. It will show different suggestions, but you have to rename it with float efficient. Remember this thing, guys. You can, yeah, float efficient. You can rename with this float efficient. Whatever which is present here, you have to rename it as float efficient. This is the first thing you have to remember. And the second thing is, click here tflight, and in this classifier float efficient net, yeah, there is a method called get model path. In that get model path, whatever may be there here, you have to replace with the model and quant.tflight. I will show you the name. Yeah, here model and quant. Can you please mute voice sound? Okay. Here the folder name is model and quant.tflight. This name should be type here, or you can copy paste here in the double quotes. Okay, remember this model and quant.tflight, and this should be same done in the classifier float mobile net. Here also there is a method called get model path. You have to model underscore and quant.tflight. You have to replace it with that. Actually, these are replaced with another files actually at the initial, but you have to replace it with this only. After that, in classifier quantized efficient net, here in the get model path, you have to replace it with model.tflight. This is different from model and quant.tflight. Please remember, in the second and third of these classifiers, we have to replace with model and quant.tflight. But in third and the fourth one also, we have to replace it with model.tf file. This is the second change. The first change is in the camera activity, we have to make it as float efficient, and in the second modification is to convert all the get model paths of these four Java activities to the model underscore uncoin.tf file and model.tf files. After that, the third step is below the get model path. Here, labels.txt. Labels.txt is the folder which is named as this. You have to remember that this labels.txt name is as same as this labels.txt name. Otherwise, then you will get some errors. And not only in this classifier float efficient, in both in four of these Java files, you have to convert those to labels.txt file. Here, see that I have converted all these as labels.txt file. These are the process of uh, giving a model to the Android, and after that we can just simply run our model in our mobile phone. It's actually very simple process. You have to connect our mobile phone with data cable and connect the data cable to the computer. And now I am connecting it to my computer. Okay, I have connected. When I connected my device, then it will show a notification here. Then it will also show in that Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 here. Then if we click this run button, then it will automatically install in our mobile phone. Okay, now I am not running this application because I was already installed it in my mobile phone, and I will also show the demo of my Android phone how it's working. Then you will be able to see that. Raja sir.
Yes, Ganesh, go ahead.
Sir, can you make me as host this Ganesh Shankar Sai account?
Okay, just give me a second.
Because it's my mobile phone.
Okay, I'm giving the host, then you can change it to me back. Okay. Now you are the host. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Guys, is my screen visible?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. This is the app. This is actually the app. For example, if we show a 10 rupees note to it, then here you can see that it is showing as 10 rupees note. And if we replace it with 500, then it is showing that it's a 500 rupees note. Okay, everyone. And I will again replace it with 10 rupees note. It is showing as 10 rupees note. And if I replace it with 500, then it recognizes that it is a 500 rupees note. This is the demo application, not a demo. Actually, it was shown you in the real world device. This is my mobile, Android mobile, and you can see it. This is the application. So this is the application I was made. Okay, Raja sir.
Yeah, that's perfect. Great, actually. So you're shown us a live example. Awesome, really. So we learned a lot of things today. So we can take up some questions from the people, like if they have any questions, something.
Yeah, sir.
Please
Yes,
go
sir,
ahead,
definitely.
guys. If you have any questions, you can ask. I think it is a really nice session. We learn a lot of things now. Okay, go ahead. If anybody have any questions, you can post on the chat box, or else you can speak out and ask. So we will try to address your questions. Yeah. Any questions from anyone? It's basically like what Python libraries we used here? OpenCV, okay, and also we use something like TensorFlow, which is also like Python library, and a lot of things, right? It's like a mix of both the mobile and Python and Android. A lot of things is involved here. So that's what, like, if anybody have any questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, Ganesh, myself Manjunath. Instead of using all the algorithms and modeling our models, you are using that inbuilt Google techie session, right?
Yeah, teachable machine.
Teachable machine. Is that completely built with the algorithms and all the techniques? Is it by the Google itself, or anything we need to add the code or anything like that?
Nothing, you have to add the code, and it is not for all the algorithms. It is only used for image classification, and we can also use it for pose recognition. Pose recognition means we human posture, we can recognize that pose, and we can do another